Yo,
Yo,
what's going on, Sean?
I'm doing excellent today.
Yes, man.
Man, you know what episode this is?
I think it's number
Six.
6.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. Hey! En este específico de Maya got una extra de.
I don't know, that might have been low-key racist, man.
Oh, if I did offend anybody ahead of time, I did apologize, but I figured I'd say that.
Hey, you cheering us on, man. You hear the crowd in the background?
Yes, the hard drum in the background. Man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. For those who don't know, welcome to
Discussing the Vibes.
Yes.
Even though I just made a possibly racist comment, if I hurt you, I didn't mean to offend you, and I hope you don't cry. Woo!
Hey,
but it beat it's a vibe.
This beat is a vibe.
Should I start break this and kick the hookah over, burn the house down? Alright.
Not yet. If y'all hear the sounds in the back, we got the lovely Foreign Exchange. Go look them up. Fonte, you know. We got some nice music going on. We got the hookah blazing in the background.
I got a Corona.
We got a Corona in this hand. I'm not really sipping on nothing, you know, but it's all good. Hey man, how was your week?
My week, you know, yesterday it wasn't too pleasant.
Damn, man.
Rest in peace, Lenny. I want to get that out the way early. But the accident, not even an accident, more like an incident. Crashed my grandfather's car into the center media.
Don't say it like that, man. You just had a little fender bender. Don't say crash.
Oh, I ran into the media, which wasn't that bad. It's not the media that y'all think might be on the regular interstates and routes. It was one of them like center ones that be just sitting there like road level, and which really shouldn't have been there. But Belleville, I'm gonna have to talk with y'all, man. That does not have no reason being there. So we're gonna have to talk with y'all. But car repaired now, and we're good. So I'm happy.
Oh, by the way, you did do that work by yourself. Well,
I sure did.
You know, y'all worked on that.
We worked on it together.
Y'all did that at home?
Yes, he stopped me from spending $500, which I kind of wish we did do, just because of the stress and everything. But he stopped me just like all my other friends stopped me from doing decisions that I probably will regret later. So shout out to him. Shout out to all my friends with the same type of mindset that had me going in a positive route, spending less. Because if you're spending less, you're going to live your life the best.
Hey.
Nonetheless.
Ooh.
Saving money with the S on the chest.
Ooh, Superman?
Yes, sir.
Saving money got you feeling like Superman.
Yes, man. I got the tape on. How about yourself, brother? How you doing, Jay?
Hey, man. You know what? A little stressful as well. You know, again, we want to say rest in peace to the Cole family.
Yes.
You know, they suffered the great loss. And Shipman family, I'm sorry, rest in peace. I know it was a bit rough. You know, we salute, but as they say, cherish the good moments. Understand the sad, but use it as a lesson in life to improve yourself and improve the situations around you. Outside of that, you know, work is work. They're trying to play with me a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, man. So I don't really like to get too personal up here, but my work situation is a little different. We work on contracts and extensions. So
right now?
Yeah. So
what you wasn't doing before?
No, I've been that way, but they re-upped me for the extension a little late. You wasn't waiting. You wasn't ready for the beat change.
That you see my face, right? I was like, what's going on here?
I'm sorry, I had to put it on him. He never heard this beat before. You know, we like to start it off with a little instrumental, then switch over to something else. But yeah, I had to let him feel that. Let that hit him.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, sir.
But while we sitting here figuring out how we gonna do this thing, yeah, work is a little stressful.
As we always do every podcast, we always figure out as we go.
I mean, I will say we are getting a little better with this thing. We was playing with the sound a little bit, so let us know if it's if it works out for y'all. If we sound a little better, we've been hearing that our vocals have been a little bit airy.
Yes, shout out to the boy Zay with the engineering skills today. He was just working. I came downstairs. He was just turning knobs. I was like, yo, Zay, me. I was like, yo, what are you doing, yo? He said, yo, it's perfect, man. So
I don't know if I said that.
He got the engineer vibes, man.
Don't say that. This might be the wackest one we had.
Hey, it might be, but hey, man, that's for the people to decide, right?
Right.
We just don't hear recording. They hearing our voices, man.
Yo, man, I'm glad to be back. I know we've been missing in action for a while.
Yes, but the last podcast was unfortunately the rest in peace Nipsey Hussle, man. That still hit me. Jeez, man. To find the news, how I was with you.
It was with me.
And I was reflect on that, like, just like me and Anthony talk about him, like in his music. Me and you talk about him in his music. We got his instrumental on our previous podcast.
We do.
So it's like, man, like it's not like one of them things, and this is no shade to anybody that feels like they're newbies on Nipsey, but like Nipsey music hit. It really hit. It was really nice. It flowed nice. It just felt good.
I'm gonna say one thing though. Sorry to cut you off.
No, don't worry about cutting me off.
And it is shout out. Rest in peace to that family. Because there's somebody. There's a whole nucleus without a strong member and a strong foundation. So it's always rest in peace and it's always love.
Yes, sir.
But as I said in the last podcast, and I will hold strong to that. It's about time that we begin to wake up and keep these moments and keep this action going. The thing that I'm seeing now is people becoming docile and saying, rest in peace, Nipsey, which I know we didn't really do a lot of talking, but it's something I want to get into. Did you hear the Lucas John song?
The song recently? I did not hear it. I seen the talk on the video.
Yeah, man, the video was a little rough. It was a little cringy. For one thing, I get what he was saying. Everybody who knows that I look at a paradigm from a biblical standpoint. So anytime where you questioning the Most High,
I got a question when you done too.
And you're talking about the Most High making mistakes. I do like how he wraps it up at the end. But y'all know that's just my own personal bias. If y'all feel it, sometimes we get those inner feelings where we don't necessarily understand what's going on in life, and we want to ask why. But when situations like that happen, I look at what the Most High said to Job, and he asked in the Bible. This is a biblical narrative. I'm sorry, but he definitely asked. He asked the question. He posed the question to Job.
What's the question?
He said, "Can you tell me what the foundations were placed on the earth? How was earth hung?"
Right.
I know I'm saying it verbatim. I'm not saying exactly how it was said, but basically he asked them a question related to things that we have no knowledge of. We might not understand the plan. We might not understand the plan of what's going on.
Right.
But we always have a connection on the inside to Most High. We might not see everything, but in time everything will unfold. I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm not gonna really go too much deeper into that. This is real off the cuff, everybody. Of course, y'all already know we don't really discuss. We just kind of go at this thing. No rhyme or reason. But as it stands, it's been a heavy toll and a lot of things going on in music. So of course we want to end that off with rest in peace, Nipsey. This conversation tonight is not one really based off where the last few episodes have been.
But before you go,
things up. Go ahead.
I gotta cut you off. You know I had to cut you off.
I know you always do.
What's today's date, man? It's about to be the 8th tomorrow.
Oh.
What's in 2 days from the 8th, man? For the people that I hope y'all can count if y'all listen, but if you can't count.
And then it's the 10th.
Today's the 8th?
Today's the 8th.
Oh,
no, today ain't the 8th.
It's just something like I said.
It's
tomorrow's the 8th.
And it's the 9th, and then it's the 10th.
But what's the 10th, man?
The 10th is just the regular 10th.
Nah, man, that's when the kid was born.
Wait. What month we in?
May.
We in May?
Yes.
So that'll be May 10th.
And guess what's on May 10th?
Which is a Friday.
Which is?
My birthday,
man. That's
everybody.
A kid
everybody.
Born,
I am becoming an old man. I am now 20. Well, I will be 29. I did make a post a little early on Facebook saying I was already 29, but sometimes gaps in spaces.
That's about the reality. Once you wake up, your bones, you just had your nice workout. Yeah, your bones actually good. That little
I hope
post-workout.
Because I've been feeling old since about 18.
Oh, you gonna feel that, man. I'm telling you, you gonna feel that.
Right.
You definitely gonna feel that, man. But I gotta just say this, man. Happy early birthday, man. I just wanted to make sure I get that birthday. Oh, it ain't over yet. This weekend, I know how you feel about birthdays.
Man, I'm just gonna chill.
To celebrate. Listen, y'all. You hear what he's saying, right? Look. When he's messing with the Sean, the Dawn, lawn, mowing the lawn, grass.
Sean, stop.
He gonna be celebrating. You know what I mean?
Hey y'all, just a little quick one. Sean tried to get me up here rapping. He was like, I want you to spit 5 bars, 10 bars. I'm like, maybe 5.
I said 10.
Yeah, 5. I'm like, nah, man. Nah, I am not about to give y'all 5 bars just yet.
But you know what I had to realize too? As I said that, I had to realize what a bar is, depending on who you talk to, is in rap. A bar could be 1 line to some people, right? And then the bar could be 4 lines to some people.
We don't know how to count bars nowadays. Well,
you got some people.
Music nowadays is changing. But that's while we talking about music, we had an interesting situation within the past couple weeks that we didn't get a chance to really speak about.
Who's that?
You heard of course you know the rapper Bun B.
Shout out to Bun B, UGK, yes.
Yeah, Texas. UGK,
I'm not gonna even first author. Nah, you some.
So
recipe Pump C.
Pimp C.
I said Pimp C.
No, you didn't.
That said Pump C?
You said Pump C.
Pimp C. Pardon me.
What the hell is a Pump C? That sounds like an old reject porno.
I apologize.
But yes, rest in peace, Pimp C. Legend in the game.
Yes.
But I didn't bring him up to speak on their rapping accolades. Although he did drop some new music, by the way. Y'all should go get that a listen. But the reason why I talked about him is to actually get into one of your passions.
Yes, sir.
The listeners don't know. The listeners don't know this, but you are, I would say a gun enthusiast.
I'm a gun enthusiast, I can say that. I don't want to say that, I'm an advocate. And what I mean by that, I'm not standing here and marching with people. Unfortunately, it sounds crazy saying that, but
can I say this?
Yes, sir.
You respect the Second Amendment.
I respect the Second Amendment, but I'm not marching with nobody.
Some of the people who internalize and embody the Second Amendment go a bit far.
Yes, they do.
All right. So, but before we get there, let's explain the situation to the audience.
Let's go for it.
I'm quite sure everybody knows about this. We're a little late. Sometimes we get to the curve a little late.
It's a couple weeks old, but we're going to get there when we get there because it's still fresh.
Right. So, for those who don't know, Bun B had a situation where someone...
If I could say something too, a lot of stuff is still pending too. We're going off of the articles we have read. I've read, he's read.
I didn't read no article.
You haven't read none?
No.
Yeah, but to be honest, freestyling is going to be just about accurate.
I know what I know.
But for the people listening, it's not. It could not be facts to you guys, but it's what I've read with he's heard.
Right.
Which is accurate.
So next time you cut me off, I'm cutting you, Sean.
Ooh, he got the reasons hand, man. Listen, I got no stitches either.
It's an invisible one, but you'll
I want no issues, man.
So don't cut me off again.
All right, my bad, man.
But like I was saying, someone tried to break into Bun B's home.
Yes.
While he was taking his morning poop, and his wife held it down for him. The gentleman, I believe, entered the garage of the home.
He knocked on the door.
Right.
I'm on 7. He knocked on the door. He knocked on their front door. You know, she thinking it's his wife thinking it might be like a UPS or mailman or something.
She said that.
She's opened the door like anybody else would. I probably sure would have did the same. And then the guy rushed her, and said, "Hey, you know, we want everything in here. Basically, give it up." She's like, "Hey, nah, just take the car. Here the keys. Take the car." Then Bumby's in the bathroom, allegedly. Gotta say allegedly these days. He hears a commotion. He gets up from the bathroom, goes downstairs. Thank God he had a fire on him, and then proceed to go to the garage where his car was, and that's when he met the assailant. I said it right, assailant. You know the assailant. Assailant. Excuse my pronunciation, y'all. Y'all know what I'm saying. And then that's when the stuff happened. That's when the shootout happened. The guy got shot in his shoulder, and I'm glad. You know, first and foremost, I'm glad that it didn't get worse. And what I mean by worse is I'm glad nothing happened to physically his wife nor Bun, right? She was shaken up mentally, you know, because I don't think she have never experienced something like that from what she was saying. You know, Bun, you know, being in Texas, thank God it was in a state where it's an open carry state, and if something like that happened, you're covered. Most of the time, you still should have an attorney for that, but he was covered for the most part. Shot him in the shoulder, having a shootout, and then so far, he, you know, as of right now, today's date at this time, he's okay. You know, for the guy that did it, I don't care about that guy. Like, you know, I was talking to Zay about that, and you know that hits home. You know, we talked about situations that happen.
Yeah, you know, there's some situations that happen that you know, both of our lives are. You know, especially recently with me, as far as people.
I'm glad you're still good from that.
People don't want to enter in your home, and you gotta kind of make decisions on the fly. And it's always good to keep level, calm head. You know, I know in interviews, Bun B said he was aiming to kill that man. But I mean, to protect your own, you got to do what you got to do. Not condoning violence on any level, but I do condone protection.
Yes,
it's important. This is when I understand the Second Amendment.
Yes, and if I can intervene, this is a quick segue. I said intervene.
Intervene? That's not the right word. Go ahead.
Excuse me. And if I could just step in for a second, when you said like make decisions on the fly, you know me, I'm an aviation guy too, right? I think about Sully, the guy that landed the plane on the Hudson. You know about that? That happened like about 7-8 years ago, maybe like 5. My time frame is all off, but same thing with him. I'm just putting this in perspective. Is like the type of decisions you gotta make between life and death. He could have made it to like he thought like, okay, in the split seconds, it's either going to be the airports around us, which you have like 4 airports, and then the Hudson. The Hudson was the only place he felt like he could land. So that split decision saved hundreds of lives.
That is correct.
And going on to the Bun, the decision that he made saved him and his wife. But a lot of unfortunate situations, that wasn't the case. You know, for me, guns, I feel like, for me, this is my opinion, I feel like somebody responsible that should have a gun in your home. That's me. I feel like people that want to proceed to have a gun should first get a class, then study the laws in your state and county.
Right. Or any other state.
Or any other state for that matter, yes. Or any other states you want to move to. Because you can live in New Jersey or you can live in California. Actually, let me even put it a step further. You can live in Texas and move to Massachusetts, where you think you can go outside and walk your dog and have a gun on your holster, and then you have a cop driving by, and then, you know, next thing you know, you possibly may get shot because you didn't do your research on see, okay, I didn't know that you couldn't, conceal carry or open carry in the state, and now you're doing a case or possibly death because of that. So do your research before you buy a gun. First, always check the laws, because living on the region we live in on the East Coast, Northeast to be exact, is really, they make it really hard for you to get a gun, to the point where it's like, yo, F it, I don't want to get a gun. I gotta go through all this. And a lot of people don't think about the amendment aspect of it. So do your research. I don't even care if it's strenuous things that you have to do in order to get it. Just get one if you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, I will stress at least you know how to shoot a gun, just in case you're in a predicament where you have to fight somebody to save your life or your family's life, and then you know how to use a firearm, just in case that might have to be. You may be in a wheelchair. If you're in a wheelchair, you be paralyzed from the waist down. You might only use your arms. You have to defend yourself, right? So just get the lessons, learn the laws, and just be careful, be responsible, lock your guns up. If you have kids in your house,
be smart.
Be smart. That's the most important thing. Be smart.
There's been too many situations where we hear of children getting a hold of parents' firearms, and and really horrible situations can transpire after.
Yeah, man. I remember like 10 years ago, I'm pretty sure we all seen that commercial when they have like it was like the two brothers and the father watching TV, just sitting there. It was a commercial, and then it was like a gun safety commercial. So the boy it's a loaded gun on the table. That's just weird in itself.
Right.
And then I don't mean to chuckle, but in hindsight, just how the commercial was, the boy pick up the gun and say, "Oh, what's this do?" Accidentally pull the trigger, and then they just go blank, and like, gun safety is everything. I'm like I get it, but like.
But that's a real thing. I actually know someone, not necessarily close to me, but close to a family member of mine, where that happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
Her, I believe it was her youngest son shot the oldest son. They both were, they both were young as 6, 7, 8, or something like that. Real young. Real tragic. I'm not gonna say her name, of course.
Yeah.
There was a whole lot behind that situation, so I'm not really gonna get too deep into it. But long story short, the son shot the other, and that's something she has to live with that for the rest of her life. You know what I mean? So I do wish safety, but it's important that we are vigilant with these things, because protection is important, but that's protection across the board. So it's not only necessarily protecting your home from intruders, but you got to protect your home from the inside as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which I understand why some of these states are really strict with the gun laws, like New York, for example.
Right.
And I guess this is where you take over the conversation, because you know a little about the laws in question dealing with New York and New Jersey. Let's stick to Jersey. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And we can kind of segue into New York. We can segue into New York afterwards. But so talk about that. Laws that you agree with, what you don't agree with.
So on the fly, I'm just gonna go from some stuff that I've seen and noticed. So when I took my my class, the laws that I've known, it's a lot of laws. It's so many that the ones that only apply to me really matter for me, because I'm not. Well, I can't really get into my business or what I do with my firearms. Let me just say that. But there's a lot of stuff that I need to know, and a lot of stuff that I need to know for other people. I would say that. Like, okay, you could do this here, you can't do this here. So in New Jersey, when I took my class about like 5+ years ago, the first thing they tell you is, how to shoot the gun. The 4, I'm not about to get into 4 fundamentals of shooting. read a book, take a class, you can get that. That's kind of easy to get. But as far as handling the firearm in New Jersey, after you shoot it, if you want to buy one or just go to the gun range, for the most part, they tell you first. They tell you, okay, all right, you on your way to your gun range, just bought your new gun, you're on your way home, or you're on your way to your first gun range. First thing you should always do is lock your gun up.
That's right.
Lock your gun up. Get a case for your gun. Put it in a trunk. That's worked for me. Put it in a trunk. Even when I was living in Maryland, put it in a trunk. Lock it. If it has four locking holes, you should get four locks for your gun case. Now here's the crazy thing. Again, I'm going off of what I've learned 5+ years ago. The laws may have changed, but back then, if you get pulled over with a gun in your car, if you're on your way to range, they could put you in cuffs until they read everything and make sure, okay, this is his gun. They can actually take your other car. Hey, listen, for this reason, we're gonna put you on handcuffs. Just stay right here by the car. You're not detained or nothing like that. We just gotta do that. Or if everything's right, if you have your guns locked, they might be like, okay, we understand. You have ammo in here. It's in the glove box. Another thing, ammunition.
It should always be kept separate.
Separate, always. Not in arm's length. So if you could reach with one arm, I don't care if you're like 7 foot or 2 foot nothing. If you can reach and grab your ammunition in one hand and also reach back and get your gun, that's a no-no. You have to keep it in reach where it's going to have to work. You have to get some work.
You have to do some movement.
Yeah, that way the cops will feel safe.
So no ammunition or guns under the seat.
Right.
That does not work.
So that's the first thing. And the second thing, for ownership. So if you want to get a firearm in New Jersey let's talk about handguns, because everybody wants to shoot a handgun. And that's what I feel like a lot of people should learn how to shoot first, is you have to first get in contact with, after you your first shooting course, go to your local police building, municipal building, whatever. Go inside, go see the record bureau or whatever bureau in that police department. They'll give you like a whole bunch of forms you have to fill out. It's so strenuous that you don't even want to fill them out. That's how many it is, especially if it's your first gun. But before I say that, before you get your gun, you have to get something called a firearms identification card. Basically, you just have something with your name on it saying, okay, this guy's okay, cleared all the background checks for medical and everything. Okay, this guy could buy ammunition, he could buy a long gun, he could buy a handgun once he fill out the specific paperwork for handgun. Boom. So when you want to get a handgun, which is a gun, a Glock, Beretta, a handgun, you have to fill out something called a purchaser permit. Alright? That means, let's say Isaiah want to go ahead and buy 2 Glocks. He has to fill out 2 individual forms. He has to fill out for 1 form to get 2 permits. Then when he's ready to buy another 6, between 3 to 6 months later, that's how long it takes in New Jersey. Then he has to get his permits. Then he could go buy his first firearm. Right? Once you get the first firearm, let's say the next day you shoot your first Beretta. Oh, I like this. I want to go get my Glock tomorrow. You have to wait 30 days to purchase another handgun. Right? That's the only thing with New Jersey. Like for long guns, long guns meaning a rifle or a shotgun. Rifle being a gun that's on your, has a stock on it.
Sean, they cannot see you touching.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
They cannot see you.
I'm sorry, man. But excuse me.
I'm sorry.
That was funny.
I had to throw that one in. You're being unprofessional. Stop coughing on the mic, man.
I really am. So, excuse me.
But wait, because I don't want to lose the people in the jargon. I want to lose the people in the jargon. in New York, right?
Right. Sure.
It's a little more tighter, right? Tighter to possess a firearm, but that's mainly pertaining to handguns, pistols.
Yes, handguns, pistols is a lot more tighter. I wouldn't be surprised if Manhattan, which is the 5 boroughs, including Staten Island, it's just as strict. Honestly, it's kind of weird because I'm just going off the top thinking this. A shotgun might be easier for you to get.
You can definitely.
Or a rifle versus a handgun.
You can definitely possess a rifle without a license, but you do have to have the permit to buy. As far as I know, this is something I've been looking at a little more deeper in detail, but we don't have to go that far. I kind of wanted to backtrack and spin off to the Bun B situation because in that situation, that man entered his house, which gave him the right to protect himself. But we have to be smart and understanding when we are exerting too much force,
right,
and when we are within our grounds to protect ourselves.
Right. So
I know in his situation, he was okay, because the person entering his home, this man who tried to commit this crime, was facing him, and engaged in a shootout with him. I'm not sure if that's the correct term, but
no, that's the correct term. You might as well say that.
Engaged in a shootout with him, so he was within grounds to protect himself and to fire back. In New Jersey, I believe if the assailant is trying to run and he is off your property, you are no longer able to engage.
Yes, that is one thing. When I took my class years back, they did say, everybody in class was like, "Oh my God, really?" But yes, in New Jersey, if the assailant is leaving, I said it right this time, right? If he is leaving after the conflict and no shots was fired, you cannot shoot at him. Even if he is shooting at you and he leaves, you cannot shoot him in the back. And I'm gonna tell you, you're probably gonna ask, "Oh well, how would they know if you shoot?" Trust me, there's a word called ballistics. And that's when autopsies and when you're in a hospital because you got a bullet wound, they will look that stuff up.
Also, entry points and exit points. It's not like the movies.
Yeah, they sure not.
There definitely is a difference. So they can tell where a bullet entered the body, and sometimes they can tell where the exit, if the bullet indeed left the body.
I ain't gonna lie though, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see a bullet hole in a human, depending on the type of ammunition he had, to tell. If he had a big hole on him, it's obvious to say the big hole, the small hole into here, the big hole blew his heart out, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, but see, that's the power of firearms. But another thing, this is something I want to talk about too. Listen, as far as the politics, now, before we even press record, I said I don't like to talk politics about guns, right? But I will say this. Stop saying assault rifles. Just because a gun is called an AR does not mean it's an assault rifle. If you people will just easily understand or just think like, let me look up what AR really means in AR-15 or AR-10. It means AR means it's basically the company that started the AR-16. Look it up yourself. It's Armorite. That's the company. I'm not going to go dig deep into the history of the company. AR stands for Armorite, something like that. That's the company that made the AR-15, which is the civilian version of the M16A series, or the M16 series in general. Alright, so, whenever you watch the news and they say, assailant, or suspect was shooting a assault rifle, it's not an assault rifle. AR-15, AR does not mean assault. It just means the brand.
Automatic rifle, maybe?
No, not even that, because it's semi-automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, you have to put you have to put a semi-automatic, right? So that means SMA. You know what I'm saying? Semi. That means you have to pull the trigger once, release it, and then pull it again. Semi. Full automatic is when you hold the trigger and all the bullets just spray out in less than like 10 seconds or less than 5 seconds.
Right. And the company is called Armalite.
Yes, Armalite. That's like like I said, the company that originated the AR-15. I just don't like to see that, and honestly, it took me to understand firearms to even have that type of respect for that type of particular subject, because it's a little irky, you know, because
of the stigma that these rifles carry.
Absolutely, because you can easily buy a gun and modify it just like you buy just like you buy a car and you can modify it as well. You know, I could buy a Civic tomorrow, right? And put exhaust on it. Doesn't mean I'm a street racer. Same predicament. Just because I buy an AR-15 doesn't mean I'm assaulting people. You gotta get the stigma out of y'all people's head where AR means assault. Just because I have a rifle that looks like it. Yes, you did. Just because you got a gun that looks like it belongs in the military doesn't mean that it's meant to like kill 20 people, even though it's capable. I can easily get a Glock 19, get a 50 round magazine, and do the same thing. Do the same thing in close proximity. And no, I'm making this clear. I am not condoning none of that. None of that at all. I'm not condoning. But it is capable of doing the same thing as an AR-15 or SK or AK-47 or AK-74 or anything else for that matter, or a little 22 caliber rifle. It can do the same thing as that weapon. Do not look at the gun. Unfortunately, it's kind of crazy I have to say that, but you have to look at the person that's pulling the trigger. You know, and these days, I don't know if you know, today there was a shooting today.
I didn't know.
And outside of Denver. You know, Columbine was outside of Denver, right? Since then, I'm talking about specifically in Colorado, there's been like people trying to mimic the factuation that they have for Columbine, which if you people listening, which I hope you're not, if you people really that sick to try to mimic that, you are sick prick. I just want to tell you that y'all are crazy. Well, I'm serious. I mean, y'all have no reason to be.
So sometimes there's psychological disadvantages here, and we don't want to condemn people. I understand what you mean. Yes, those acts are really grotesque and horrible.
Grotesque. That's a nice college word. I gotta look that up, man. Grotesque.
Sean, you are so funny. Man, you are making a lot of noise over here.
I am sorry.
Sheesh. Sean, calm down.
You know you got me heated though.
I got you heated.
No, he ain't get me heated, but just the conversation.
But hold on.
I'm on the passenger seat. I'm on the shot. No pun.
That was a pun, and okay. You meant it. You can't say no pun intended. That was fully intended. But anyway, y'all, we just chilling tonight. What I will say is, along with these guns, that's one thing I do like about New Jersey's laws, right? We can say it's really strict, it's really hard. They don't have there's no carry open or concealed in this state. But
are you happy about that? I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna go back in another bag.
No, but hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I will let you have the flow. I will. But what I will say is, what I like is the fact that there is some type of psychological awareness that needs to be had. You have to go through some type of testing or get some type of we all know when you're dealing with psychological and you're dealing with the mental aspect of things. It's a very opinionated field, and it's always good to get more than one answer or more than one evaluation.
Yes,
with anything. Any diagnosis you have, do not just take the first one.
I want to say something. I want to add something to that. And that's when I will get into the bag where I don't want to get too political with firearms, because you have to have background checks before you purchase a gun. It's not even strenuous. It's just like you have to give a little information in, but it's well worth it because if something pings up with your name on it and you don't buy the gun, I will feel a lot safer versus I just let little Jimmy or little Zay with the gun. Sorry, I had to put your name in it, but with the gun, and I feel like okay, tomorrow he could possibly do something. And I know he has an issue possibly, but there's a lot of people that we don't know that have certain issues, mental issues, where you just don't know, and that's where the gun conversation is kind of topsy-turvy, and that's where like why I say I'm not a full-blown advocate with firearms, because even the advocates say, oh no, we shouldn't have the right to have
you should have the right to forego any type of psychological evaluation.
Right,
it's our right to
right, and I agree with that completely. And at the same time, I could step back and take 1 foot and say, hey, look, y'all may have that thought, but I'm gonna stay over here and I'm gonna have my own thought, and that's my stance on that. That's my stance on that.
Okay, Sean, y'all got this man flowing his arms around in the air. Right,
yeah, it's only a certain amount of conversation that get me like that. And this is one of them conversations. Cars and guns, even motorcycles. It's just, I know a lot of people don't know me for talking firearms because when I was in high school, you remember, it wasn't cool to even talk about a gun. For me, it wasn't, at least. I wasn't even I'm not even gonna lie, I wasn't into guns in high school. I played a lot of games that had guns in them, but I'm the type of guy, like, before I enter a hobby, I want to know about them. It's easy to say, okay, I was playing 007, I had to go to the gun, shoot through the metal door and just shot everybody, and I won the game. But with real life, it's a lot of responsibility that comes with firearms, and that's when I really got involved into it. When I was like, okay, all right, I'm ready to finally purchase a gun, just like purchase a car for me. So okay, I'm ready to do this, but let me find out about this before I actually get into it. And that's all. I'm gonna leave it at that. Be safe out there if you purchase a gun. Know your local laws first. God willing, I hope you're mentally okay to purchase a gun. And when you get the gun, just take your classes, know what you're shooting, know the ammunition, and just be really responsible.
Right. Defense classes are important, just like when you buy a car, and you have to take the defensive driving course to understand the ramifications and the importance of what you're operating. You know what I mean? Same thing. Switching gears a little bit, let's talk about something a little more relaxing and open.
I did.
Yeah, I need Sean.
I had to transition with the music.
Although this nice topic might make you rile up again.
Okay.
Battle rap.
What about battle rap, man?
Hey, man. First of all, I want to say it's been a great year for battle rap.
It sure has been.
No matter what you're into, whether it's style, finesse, lyrics, animation, hard-hitting flows, patterns, schemes, everything. URL just had a really big card. Resolution. We seen
So go down the list. We had Chef Trez and Shotgun Suge. Shout to Suge. Shout to Trez. Who else? Rum Nitty, T-Top, Tay-Rock, and K-Shine.
Dope battle.
I feel like there's somebody else on that card too that we watch. Oh, New Jersey Twerking, John and
Twerk. Ooh, we gotta get into that.
Yeah, we do. And the headliner.
Cassidy.
Goods versus Cass. Goods the Animal versus Cass. Woo, where should we start? Well, I'll start here. We did not watch the Suge and Chef battle. That's the only one we didn't see.
We haven't gotten there yet. Yeah.
And support URL. Support any battle rap you watch. Get the pay-per-view if you can't be there. Just buy it. Just buy it. You know, that way you don't have to wait months.
It's supporting the culture. It's all fun and games. You know, we understand it's somewhat a sport, but you know, it's good. You know, it's important that we support each other, and all of these cards. You know, whether it's RBE or another league, as they say, support. Which battle do you want to start off with? Let's do it real quick. We ain't gonna recap a lot of them. We're just gonna talk overview of what we liked about the battles. Let's start with John and Twerk.
John and Twerk. Well, that was a good battle going into it.
Who do you think won?
Well, I'm gonna start by who I originally had going into it. I had Twerk going into the battle. No, I had John going into the battle 2-1. Because he's the underdog, honestly. Even though he's the veteran.
I think you had Twerk for that one.
You sure?
Yeah, I think you said Twerk was going to win, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought I was trying to shoot. Well, regardless, he won. Yeah, regardless, he won.
I disagree.
Did you watch that battle?
I did watch it.
I didn't watch that with you, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, we did watch it down here. We did watch it.
I don't think Twerk won that battle, but we can discuss why. Discuss why.
His first round was solid. Alright, so Twerk round was solid on the first, brought the energy. I felt like it was a good John. It was a good Twerk. It wasn't like the Twerk that we're used to.
Right. John was pretty lackluster that first round.
Yeah.
I think John got the second. I think John got the second. The round that's in question for me is the third.
What about the third?
For obvious reasons. I am not a fan. If you're battling, you need to be battling.
Yeah.
Your entourage does not need to be battling with you. Your best friends don't need to be battling with you. Your cousin from the other side, on the daddy side, don't need to be battling with you. You need to be spit. We can get into who's right and who's wrong. We don't have to go there. But just the pure element when you're on that stage is you and your opponent. And I get, the crowd and you got your people behind you cheering and, you got people ad-libbing for you. Those things going to happen. But when you're Twerk and you have a Jack Boy aside of you and you want him to spit rounds at the person that you're battling, that's a problem for me. I always say this, and you can quote me on this. I've always said this. The moment you have somebody else come on stage with you to try to speak, it might be funny, but to me, you lost the battle. To me, you lost that round.
You wouldn't say that, though.
Just because you're taking it out of the dynamic of what it is. Back in the day, if you had somebody spit with you, there was liable for situations that happen. You know what I mean? And that's not always a good thing. That's my issue with that third. And for that reason, I gave it to John. So I think John won the second round.
So even though they booed him and everything, you still gave it to him?
I want to give it to John. Has some hard-hitting bars. And maybe I'd take another look. I know I will say Twerk had the energy. But like I said, my problem is he had Jack Boy try to spit, and then it kind of chumped John out because John was like, no, blah 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 blah, which brought me back to kindergarten. Who the hell says blah 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 anymore? I get it.
Who says that? That's funny.
I get it, but I'm not about. If I was John, I wouldn't. No matter if he's been ducking Jack Boy for a minute or whatever. I'm not about to let you spit. Your ROMs. I'm not battling you. I don't even care if the crowd want to hear it.
Man, forget what he's saying. Look, what I'm going to say. Look, John, you lost, man. You lost. You should have let him battle. You should have let him just came on for a couple of seconds. You did it you did it when Charlie, you ain't mind when Charlie Clips called you to do it, right? But now you're getting mad at Jack. Hold on. John, stop ducking Jack Boy. Look, I'm rooting for you on that battle, but he gonna smack that ass.
I would love to see him and Jack Boy bring a whole another fight.
I want to see him on the URL band series, the dark setting. I want to see him on
that gritty fit, but that plays to Jack Boy's.
Oh, that's his feel.
That plays to him. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We're not talking about John and Jack.
We love battle rap.
We're talking about Twerk and John. And on that regard, that's a problem for me. On top of that, wasn't Twerk the one talking about if it ain't in the contract?
Twerk is better than Lux, man.
Okay. Whatever you say, boss.
I did not say that.
But what I will say correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there some interviews and Twerk was like, it's not in the contract. You only pay me for this, and this, so this is what I'm only doing. Right? She went over her time and blah 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 blah. So I could do whatever I want after that, right? Give me my money. Was Jack Boy lines versus bars written in that contract?
No.
So can he get mad?
Technically, no.
All right, that's all I want to hear.
That was good, man.
That's all I want to hear.
John, you still lost, man. You battling Jack Boy next. We know the vibes, cause we are the vibes, man. We know the vibes, and you know the vibe too, man. Smoke him, man. Tired of him talking down.
You want to jump right into the casting and we'll be done with it, or you got?
We can do that.
All right. Casting goods. You know what? This has sparked up an interesting conversation.
What's that?
Old school setup in bars versus new school delivery.
Yes. So I can say this. Goods won clear. People could debate the first. You could go as far as 3-1 if you 3-0 if you want. I'm gonna say 3-0, because I don't even feel like me and you had just walked in on that battle when it was pay-per-view. Like, we just walked in, and we looked at Cass like we was looking like, oh, this guy look comfortable.
Cass looked real nice.
He did look good. He did
for the first 6 minutes of that first round.
He did. He was standing there looking like a robot. He stood there like.
This is what I will say. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to cuff them. When you say, I got one more bar,
stop.
And then you say,
after that bar,
Dumbo.
Was that when did he try to, what
the
bar?
Third round.
When he was trying to break down a vagina, I got the uterus. Listen, man. I'm not in sex ed class.
But the thing is, this is what I'm talking about. Delivery necessarily wasn't there.
It wasn't.
But structure and bars, old school wise, it was there. It was solid. And that's the conversation that I've been seeing. Kind of more so. Oh, I cooked them from Kaz. Mm-hmm. Listen to the bars. Battle rap is not solely about bars.
Mm-hmm. It's not.
It's showmanship.
Nowadays, no. The modern age battle rap is not. It's delivery, it's cadence, it's performance.
Exactly. And the thing is, Kaz cadence did not match the stage that he was on.
It did not.
You agree?
I did, but I will say this. If I feel like he would have done the battle like right then and there after the face-off they had, like let's say, yo, I got bars now, I'm ready, right? You know how Cass is, like, I got stuff on deck. Or if it was like a closed room band setting, I ain't going front.
It probably would have went over different.
In my opinion, it would have went a little different.
If they was structured differently on that card, if they would have came earlier in the night.
Well, Goods won it. Goods wanted it earlier.
I understand that. I'm just saying that would have went over. If that battle would have went after after the Shine and
like
Rock
the second
battle. If that would have won,
well, that was no. The thing it did go on after that. You gotta remember something like.
But I mean, no, I'm saying structured wise. As far as I'm looking at it the way we watched the pay-per-view versus the way the pay-per-view actually played.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I mean, if we would have took that and maybe put that like maybe an hour or two earlier in that card, that crowd was heated. Like that crowd was not good. But you got to understand, when you're standing up for 5-6 hours, and they already said they was going to hijack it because they didn't feel adequate, adequately protected, adequately loved. So we had situations going on. But when you have situations like that, that's when you got to know your crowd a little bit. And that's the problem with Kaz. I think he's been too far removed to kind of understand what the crowd wants. And sometimes you got to play into what the crowd wants.
Well, don't want to give him that though. As far you talking about, he hasn't been there as long as far as being on stage,
being present, right? No, he's been on stage.
He's been on stage. He's been to several events.
Being on stage, watching events, being on stage, regular performing, and being on stage in the battle rap scene, they're all different.
But see, it's like this. Like when I battle in the summertime, because I got a battle coming up in the summertime.
Sean, stop it.
I know what's going to happen in the summertime.
Sean, stop it.
Do you see a brake pedal anywhere? If you see a brake pedal, hit it. Slam on it. Skirt. Okay, I'll stop.
There is no battle in the summer. Sean is not battling anybody. This
is when you have good friends that tell you, yo, you're not doing it because we know what's going to happen.
I don't want to see Sean out there like that. But what I will say is, back to the cast thing, that's kind of what we got. But I do like the conversation. I mean, I don't like the way some of these interviews went afterwards.
Like what interviews? You heard?
I'm not going into that. But I do like the conversation. I like the conversation because it not only adds a little flair to the battle rap scene, but it's now people talking what they like. So now you seeing from the people, I like bars, I like bars, I like bars. And for the people who saying Cass won, Cass had some cringy lines. Whether you say all his bars was hot or not, Cass had some real cringy lines. I'm sorry, I have to bring this up. The whole butt injections in your face.
That was. I ain't gonna lie, that was so cringy where I had to say, Cass, stop for a second, I can use the restroom. That's how cringy they were, man.
Yeah.
Look, Cass.
Goods was goods. And this is the thing.
That wasn't even a hard goods, though. It wasn't like crazy good.
It wasn't, but the thing is there anything memorable, whether good or bad, that Good said?
I went gold in the streets.
Yeah.
Which I understand that.
That whole scheme with the whole GPS and that Cass did, that went hard. Mm-hmm. So I can see how people could say they wanted to give it to Cass. Cass did not give you a full meal. That's like Thanksgiving dinner, and you like the turkey. You might like the stuffing, but you don't like the collard greens. Mm-hmm. You don't like the candy yams. You don't like the what else that people eat when they have these big
sweet corn.
You don't like the sweet corn.
In the
you don't like the rice.
But Cass, that day.
But the turkey was good.
The turkey was good. No, but he a chicken man. Okay. He missed a chicken.
Well, the chicken was good.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Unfortunately, I gotta say this. It was white seasoned chicken, man. It ain't having no sauce on it, man. Ain't had too much cracked pepper on that thing.
All right, so would you want to see Cass battle again? Who would you want to see him battle?
That I don't know, but it depends.
Would you want to get him in there with a killer?
No. No.
Would you want to get him in there on a?
Give me an example of the killer though.
Twerk.
No.
Nitty.
Definitely no. I feel like he was supposed to originally battle Nitty.
That's what I feel too.
I don't, especially after seeing that cast and Nitty, it's almost like a style clash. But we can't act like
John.
Oh, I'll see. No, I don't want to see what gets in. I don't want to see what gets in either. Because John battled Reed when Reed first came back after like 10 years and got smoked. And honestly, if I want to be technical,
T-Rex.
Yeah.
Mook.
No. Mook.
Are we getting Mook out of the culture right now?
All right. Before you go into that conversation real quick, we're going to step on that conversation a couple seconds, but I gotta say this. It's gonna be really weird.
We had a discussion in another podcast.
We will.
We're gonna do a podcast
specifically for battle rap,
and because we're avid watchers. We watch all the leagues, and we comment on a lot of them.
Yeah.
So we'll have something geared towards that. We'll have something geared towards music too. We haven't really discussed music.
Yeah, we sure haven't. We sure haven't.
You know? So we gotta let these people into our vibe. We discussed the vibes,
man,
but we gotta let them into how we feel. But go ahead. We about to wrap this thing up.
It's gonna be real cringy what I'm about to say, but I don't even think it's cringy. He just needs to battle a mid-tier dude, like not a Jack Boy, but above Jack, like a Chess.
I will. That's a lot of energy for Cass. Cass gonna have to. See, that's the thing. That's the thing, and that's kind of what I want to see. I think for Cass to get over that hump, because I'm not going to say Cass ain't no legend. We're not talking about the 5,000, whatever.
No, the 5,000.
We're not doing that. But what I will say is, if Cass could just bring a little more energy, and I know he's trying to do the I'm laid back, I'm cool, I got this, y'all can't beat me, it don't matter. But I want to see that same energy he put into them interviews. I want to see him put that energy on stage, and that's all he's lacking.
The only thing is, I think Cass thought he did that recently, but I don't think for us.
Looking back at, and you know, I'm a big Cass fan.
You sure are.
I've been a Cass fan for.
Listen, man, if you were 80s, then like early 90s, baby. Or even early baby, you listening to Cass.
I remember when Cass, what was that, 2005, 2004? I remember when Cass first stepped on the Smack DVD.
Yep.
With that with a kiss in the I'm sorry, not kiss. With Swiss in the background.
Was not
for the head where you see it
go get him. And then we all see the infamous. He put a beat on.
And I was a fan of Freeway too, but that wasn't Freeway element the same way as this battle rap way. But
I will say this. I will say this though. If Cassidy goes on one of them on Verbal Warzone, he is smoking.
Cass can ride a beat though.
He is smoking.
But I say that about any industry cat.
But no, he is smoking. Even if top URL dog.
Even if
can I say that?
Even if Lupe come in here.
All right, I'm gonna keep that to myself. I like Lupe. He's talking too much lately, man. Get through Jack Boy, Lupe.
Who's Jack Boy, Sean? Who's Jack
Boy? Jack Boy. Get through Jack Boy, Lupe. He'll smoke you probably, man. And I'm putting 50 lurks on that, man. Talking about Jersey slang. 50 lurks I got on Jack Boy.
Y'all heard it.
If he battles.
Y'all heard it. So who because you know if you take up that
this is kind of crazy me saying this, right?
That is kind of crazy. You about to have bad people in the comments like, oh, they didn't battle. Give my money.
When they battle, if they ever happen, 50 lurks.
So closing.
Lurks mean dollars.
Really?
I had to say it for the people
that didn't know. Just in case they didn't know. But yo, it's interesting. I like to see where this is going. I want to see. I'm glad the industry cats are paying homage to what's going on. I like them. I like them even kind of stepping into the arena on some fun stuff just for exhibition. I don't never want to hear somebody say they 3-0 on somebody. Just come in and do it for the love of the sport.
You talking about just like the new guys, or just
anybody?
Like anybody coming, or just
especially
in general? You ain't nobody 3-0
cats.
I always say, like,
I don't want to hear no industry cats saying they 3-0 and anybody.
Look, I'm all for the 3-0 talk. Say 3-0 with somebody to me. I gotta see it though.
No,
like,
because then my hopes get high. And,
yeah, sure.
And like even with Kaz, right? Maybe if he would have bought something extra to his delivery, it might would have said okay. But the reason why a lot of people turned on him is because he left a lot to be desired. When you don't have all the elements, you leave room for people to question. You know, and maybe he did 3-0. But we can't say that after looking at that performance.
We sure couldn't. We sure couldn't.
When you clearly 3-0 somebody, you looking at that performance like, yo, if you have to say, go and watch the review. Go and watch the review.
I went on
go
camera.
Listen to the bars.
But
listen to the bars. Even you can't say you 3-0 somebody if you have to go look at the camera.
Yeah, if you say you gotta watch it on camera, a lot of people didn't watch it on the pay-per-view, so watching on camera may work for some people.
But that's not a 3-0. I can't.
No, but there's a lot of people that won in the building and then.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay,
I'm not saying
that's what I was just saying.
I'm talking about when you say I'm 3-0ing you.
It better be a 3-0.
That means ain't nothing you can do to coil this dominance that I am.
Me and Zay always had this conversation about like 3-0 thing because I'm with it, but he was like, "Yo, you can't just say somebody
you can't just say somebody.
That's like saying like somebody like the SMD or something like that. That's disrespectful, and that's exactly how Goods into the battle. Like, yo, he said he going 3-0 me. Okay, I got y'all. Watch
exactly.
This. He came in there swinging.
He came in there punching, and Kaz had some good punches, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, man.
It was not enough.
Good overall, battle. Buy the pay-per-view if you can. It was a decent event. It wasn't one of their best events, but go see it.
It wasn't one of their worst either.
It definitely wasn't one of their worst. I seen worse.
But this is episode 6.
Discussing the vibes. We're showing us, hey, listen, we'll be back soon with episode 7. We just pop up randomly, so look out for the next episode. We definitely gonna plug this episode on Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe to the Discussing the Vibes channel on YouTube. You know, well, much appreciated. Listen to the podcast.
Hit that bell icon too.
Yeah, ding ding ding.
So we can keep y'all posted on when we drop.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and again,
man.
It was always lovely being with you guys.
And this was episode 6 of Discussing the Vibes.
Discussing the Vibes.
Good night.
Podcast.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.